girls, it's Hailey Reese, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am so grateful that you are here, and I hope that you are having an absolutely fantastic, beautiful, wonderful, all the good things, morning, afternoon, or night, whatever it is for you when this video finally reaches you. Today's video has been so highly requested. In fact, I had an entirely different video planned for today. I didn't even get ready to film a video today. I was just gonna edit the video for today and make sure it got up nice and early for you. But the amount of questions I have gotten asking me what's going on with this haunting, who the spirit is, and what's been going on after you guys briefly heard about it in my video with Lana, I felt like, you know what? Why not? Let's sit down. Let's dive into this spirit that has been haunting our home this month and kind of give you guys the entire backstory. Now, I had every intention at the end of this month of doing an entire compilation of all the times that this spirit has made its presence known on camera and posting it at the end of 31 Days of Halloween. So if that is still something that you would like to see, definitely let me know. But basically, recently, I let those of you watching in on the fact that yes, your eyes have not been playing tricks on you. Some very strange things have been happening in the backgrounds of my videos, specifically with this blanket as well, and just going on behind the scenes in general. So ask and you shall receive. Today we will dive into everything regarding our ghost and this haunting. This is not clickbait. This is not made up. I will insert video footage at various points throughout this video, sharing with you guys some of the clips of things that have been caught on camera, and then also refreshing you on what Lana said. So with all of that out of the way, sit back and relax, because today's video is a story time. And while it is yet another haunting in the world of Hailey Reese, this is one I'm actually super excited to share with you because it's incredibly reminiscent for me of my haunted house days. All right, let's get into this. So we had some strange activity kind of happening. I believe it started in the springtime, just weird little things that were happening that now looking back, I almost wonder if it was this spirit coming into our space and the spirit that was the culprit behind it. Now, before anybody starts to think that perhaps this is a spirit that I know, like it's Graham's playing tricks on me, or, you know, one of my deceased loved ones or something of that sorts, it is not. So I'm not the only one who has felt like this is a playful spirit, but it's definitely one that I don't feel that the energy is familiar. And when Lana did come to my space and I was finally able to ask her in person about it, she also didn't mention it being anybody that I would know. And the haunting isn't directly attached to me, but I'm getting ahead of myself again. Basically, back in the spring, little weird things would happen. And I have mentioned multiple times on my channel since moving here that while this space is not haunted, I do not feel any sort of heavy energy, paranormal activity. Like, it's not a haunted condo. I have mentioned that there have been points throughout living here that there's been some really strange and evident spirit activity, but I've always felt in my heart that it comes and it goes. I also always felt like it was different spirits that were coming in and visiting, not specifically one spirit. And now I'm starting to believe that the recent events have been that of the same spirit. So prior to October, we had your usual friendly ghost popping in haunting shenanigans. We had a remote that went missing for weeks that, when I tell you, was sitting on the coffee table. What was I going to say? Was sitting on the coffee table and a few moments later disappeared, and we tore the place apart to find it. We could not find this remote anywhere. And granted, I mean, I'm very grateful for my condo. As far as condos go, it is a big condo, but there are only so many places when you live in a condo that a remote control can grow legs and walk away to. And we flipped this place upside down. Turned the couch over, flipped over the cushions, flipped over the blankets, even looked in rooms that we hadn't been in since last using the remote. And sure enough, it wasn't until we finally said out loud, hey, if this is a spirit, you really need the remote. And shortly after, we found the remote in a very obvious place that, need I not mention, we had already checked. So weird little things like this were already happening. There was quite a few of them, but it wasn't really anything notable or haunting related. Now, anybody who is open to the spiritual realm, to the other side, and puts it out there, especially that they want to receive signs, messages, and signals from their deceased loved ones, from the spirit realm, from any spirits, angels, guides of light and love, when you put that out there and that's the energy that you're emitting, surely that is what you're going to get back. And I believe that that has really been the case here with this particular haunting. Every single day this month, I've been getting up, thinking about really crazy hauntings, going to haunted locations, talking about insane paranormal, true crime cases in general, all of these things that just emit so much energy that if I could imagine how this must look to spirit from the outside, I can just picture, like, you know, when you see a condo and it's late at night and there's like that one light on and you're like, that person is still awake. I could just imagine that to spirit, they see my condo kind of glowing this light of, she believes, she's open to it. And especially if it is a being that is not of darkness, that is not a dark entity, and I'm open to that, I feel like I kind of have my door wide open without even realizing. And that was when the strange turns of events kind of went from, hey, I think there might be something here, to, oh, yeah, there's definitely something here, and it's definitely making its presence known. So, backtracking for a moment here, prior to anything even happening on camera, there was one night that Tyler was out working a little bit later and I was home alone with the doggos. And for whatever reason, I'd actually closed the bedroom door for the night and we'd kind of cozied up in the bedroom. And the reason I'm saying that, like, it's such a strange thing, is I don't normally like go around closing all the doors before I go to bed. I'll leave the bedroom door open. Sometimes I close it, but on this evening I had closed it. And I'd brought the dogs in with me and we were watching whatever reality TV it is that the three of us get up to when Tyler's not home. And all of a sudden I heard a noise in like my office here. Now the front of my office, well, the front of my desk when I'm sitting here. So like here's my desk, right? And then like the front of where I'm facing, in front of where I'm facing. Why did I just explain that to you guys so complexly? Like I could totally cut that out, but what I am trying to say here is that the wall between like where my desk and the next room is the wall of my bedroom. And so I could hear on the other side of the wall what sounded like somebody here in my office and like some weird noises. And so my initial thought, because the doggies, you guys have seen them, love sitting on this chair, I right away thought to myself, oh gosh, I left one of the dogs out there and they're not happy with me. They're getting cozy on this chair. So I'm fully expecting that Ace is still out here and that's the ruckus that I'm hearing. But I come on out here and I notice that my office chair is like across the room and the blanket is like across the opposite end of the room. What do I mean by this? My office chair was closer to this pink chair and my actual like blanket that is always on the back of the chair was over towards my desk and perfectly like folded strangely on the ground. It wasn't like it had fallen off the chair and the chair had rolled, which again, there is a rug here so the chair doesn't just go rolling all around town. But it was as if somebody had lifted the blanket off of the chair and then folded it on the floor and then the chair was now over here. So I remember thinking like, oof, that's a little weird. But I giggled to myself because, again, strange things had been happening and I didn't feel badly. I still don't. So I just put the blanket back on the back of the chair and pushed the chair back in and I head off and continue on with my night. A couple of weird things started happening. And I remember there was one evening where I was sitting here at my office desk and I was on the phone with my mom talking about how it almost felt like ironically, I had accumulated a little Casper. To me, so the energy is very playful, and we'll get to what it's been doing now and the footage of it and whatnot. But to me, the spirit has always felt like a very young spirit. Not a child per se, but it's felt very young, and I wish I would have elaborated more with Lana on this. I believe I will do a part 2 with her on this. But I remember I was talking with Mama Reese, and I was telling her, like, I think I have a little haunting going on. Like, and I kind of just told her how these cute little things were happening. And it was very clear when I was alone here with the dogs, I'm not alone, but it's not scary, and how refreshing it is to have like a little Casper the Friendly Ghost here. And as I'm saying this to my mom, and I believe this was on FaceTime because she had acknowledged it too, my LEDs that I have on here at night went out and then slowly back on. So not like a flicker. It was like the energy went ooh and back up. What was that? And it was just almost as if there was an acknowledgement, like, it's me. And so I found that super, super wild. Well, in the coming days, this blanket would be situated perfectly on the back of my chair, and at around, like, for an example, in one of the videos, I think I was editing around 30-40 minutes in, and out of nowhere, without even leaning back, because I leaned forward, it looked like it had been lifted off of the chair once again. And this was the first visual representation that I'd seen of kind of what I'd imagined the previous time, of them kind of pulling it off and folding it nicely and then leaving it on the floor. It looked like it'd been like picked up off the back of the chair in the video. And so I found that funny, and I had to leave it in because it was mid-sentence and I hadn't reset the sentence. And so you guys saw it and the comments started coming in, but then I got a really fun text message from Lana. Now, for those of you who are familiar with Lana, you're probably so tired of hearing me explain who she is, but it is important to those watching who may be new or just unfamiliar with Lana. I'm not going to get too far into it because I've done an entire video with her sharing her story. Her channel is also The Hawk and I here on YouTube, but feel free to check it out to get more of a look into who she is and what she does. But Lana is an evidential medium, one of my dearest friends, and just somebody that I trust with my whole heart, soul, and being. For those of you who look for proof in somebody's gift or in the journey of somebody so spiritual, Lana was pronounced medically deceased twice. And in that time, she was up in the spirit realm, essentially having her life review, meeting her spirit council, and learning so much more about her purpose here on earth and her mission that was yet to be complete. And so she came back down, and now we are lucky enough to live at the same time as someone as incredible as Lana. So Lana sent me a text, and I just want to frame the picture for a moment here because Lana and I talk all the time. Sometimes we talk multiple times a day. Sometimes life gets the best of us and it's a few days without us talking, but we talk all the time about various life endeavors and all sorts of things. And so when I saw her name pop up on my phone, I smiled and I clicked it open and I saw her commenting on the blanket. And shortly after, her and I got on the phone and we got to talking, and she was like, Hailey, I rewatched that so many times because not only did she get like a feeling, you know, as a medium does, but beyond that, she's like, I could see like the pinch of where it lifted up off the chair and like fell down. And that was when I started explaining to her, like, yeah, Lana, some strange things have been happening. That's really strange that you say that. But my hand on everything I care about on the phone call, I didn't want to ask Lana because I didn't want her to channel in yet, and I knew that she was coming to my condo. I don't know if it was the next day or the day after. I knew it was in the coming days, and so I didn't want to quite ask her yet. But she had mentioned it, and she mentioned that she felt it was spirit. And so when we did our next video, I ended up bringing it up. So at this point, I'm going to share with you guys the footage of one of the videos where you can see the blanket falling off the back of the chair. This month has been crazy. I haven't had the time to like sit and go through each and every video. So whether or not this is the footage that Lana was referencing, I can't say for certain. Keep your eyes peeled because at the end of the month, I'm going to compile all of the footage of strange things happening in the background, both in my videos here and also out on investigations. But I will play one of the clips here, and going forward, definitely keep your eyes peeled for it. One thing that I will say is it's a big blanket. It is perfectly balanced. Even when I lean, even when I move all around, it's not like a flimsy blanket, if that makes sense. So even if you're a skeptic, I'm sure you can agree that it's rather strange that when I'm sitting up, so when I film my videos, I don't lean on the chair, I sit up for majority of the videos, and as I'm sitting up, the blanket's there, and in random videos at random times, it's like scoop, and it's taken off. Now here's the beautiful thing. If you do not sync to that vibration and you do not, which very well could be a coincidence if it wasn't for the strange noises that I was already hearing and the strange activity happening with the blanket winding up folded in a different place and the chair kind of sliding all around. So Lana comes and we filmed 3 videos together up until now. You guys have seen one of the 3. You will see the other 2 in the coming week. Keep your eyes peeled. They are so good. But as we're filming, I did decide to take an opportunity to ask Lana in our Ask the Medium about what she'd seen in the video and then also kind of elaborate on the haunting. And for those of you who have yet to see that video or perhaps didn't make it to that point in the video, I will insert a clip of what she said here as well.
So do I feel, I do feel spirit was in that video with you. I watched that. I kept going back over it. I kept like feeling it, watching it, feeling it, watching it. And I'm like, oh, there's a playful little spirit there. Mm-hmm. It almost had the feeling of like Casper.
Do you know what's funny you say that? Ever since I started this Halloween series, that's why I wanted to ask you this as well. I've been feeling like the playful side of spirit is back within my content and back within my life. Again, I hadn't spoken to Lana about anything to do with this. And there have been times where I've had experiences and Lana will say, you know, I didn't think that was spirit. But there have been other times where she's like, Hailey, that is something dark. It's forming an attachment. It's got to go. And this time, exactly the way that I was feeling, despite having not told Lana yet, was exactly how she described it to me. This Casper-like little ghost who's making their presence known but isn't specifically associated to me and my home or my particular condo. Whether or not they're haunting my condo, I guess could be possible, but my unit. Nonetheless, it has continued, you guys. The cutest, strangest, most like Casper. It's just giving Casper like energy. It's been just happening. And honestly, it has made my October all the more fun. Like, I don't even know how to explain it, but this just reminds me of the fun side of the spirit world. You know, there is darkness and the hauntings and the dark games and the dangers. It's all very real. And well, it's really interesting to dive into and to learn more about and how to protect ourselves. Growing up in a haunted house with these specific spirits and their personalities that, yes, it could be scary if you don't know. But overall, our house was haunted in the best of ways. This type of haunting is just so similar to me energetically. And I will be honest with you. When I thought about making this video today, I had a little bit of a cry earlier because this is the kind of stuff that Grams and I just geeked out about. Like, we loved this side of the spiritual world. We loved our house that we grew up in, and I know that this spirit and the energy it's emitting is just so reminiscent of that haunted house. And that's why when you guys asked me today, despite it not being a terrifying experience or this elaborate video, I was really excited to share it with you because it reminds me of such a special, beautiful time in my life, both when it first happened with my haunted house and then when I relived it again with my grandma. Just such a cool time in my life. And I'm emotional because I'm just grateful that it's all coming full circle, and the beautiful side of spirit and the paranormal and the beauty of some hauntings and just life being so much more than this. that is basically our experience with this little ghost. I'm so curious to ask Lana more about it now that it's been making its presence known. I don't feel like it's here right now, which is ironic considering I'm talking about it. Like, can you still be talking behind a ghost's back? Like, are they going to come back and be like, oh, that's what you got up to while I was gone. You were talking about me. I don't know. But no, I don't feel like they're here right now. But yeah, that is basically the ghost and our little haunting. For those of you who were commenting, I felt terrible. In that video, I had mentioned it, and so many of you thought you missed a chapter. And then so many of you were like, wait, what are you talking about? Which video? What's been happening? So when you requested an entire summary of it, I was excited, and here we are. With all of that being said, I truly have been having the absolute best time with you this October thus far. There is still so much more fun to be had and so much more content coming, but make sure to let me know. Is there something that you've been missing this Halloween? Is there content you'd like to see more of? Perhaps a subject you want to see me dive into? Make sure to comment down below. This channel isn't my channel, it's our channel, and I want to create the content that you want to see. You matter, your voice matters, and I want to know what you want to see from me. So make sure to comment down below, and that is it for today's video. If you guys are new to my channel or you are just not yet subscribed but you enjoy my content, I would love it if you would go ahead and click that subscribe button, and please give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Remember, my loves, do all things with kindness, and until tomorrow, I love you. Bye, guys.